The observation deck of the Galactic Council's flagship Eternal Consensus hummed with an energy that had nothing to do with its quantum drives. Bella Chen stood before the panoramic viewport, her reflection ghosting across the star field beyond. Her dark eyes tracked the impossible geometry of the human warship hanging 300 kilometers off their bow. A vessel that shouldn't exist, couldn't exist. According to every law of physics, the Council had codified over 10,000 years of interstellar civilization. "They're calling it the Penrose," said Ambassador Volcara, his chitinous frame clicking nervously as he approached. The Vrex diplomat had seen the rise and fall of 100 species, but Bella could see the tremor in his sensory stalks. After some human mathematician, the arrogance. Bella didn't respond immediately. She was too busy studying the warship's hull, if it could be called a hull. The surface seemed to fold in on itself, a Möbius strip of quantum states that made her augmented vision ache. Dark matter, humanity's greatest secret, weaponized and wrapped around a framework of exotic matter that bent spacetime like paper. "Not arrogance," she finally said. "Respect." Roger Penrose theorized about the nature of consciousness and the universe's structure. This ship is his legacy made manifest. 37 years ago, when humanity first achieved faster-than-light travel and stumbled into the galactic community, they'd been dismissed as upstarts. Another species of bipedal primates playing with forces they barely understood. The Council had patronized them, assigned them border systems, expected them to fall in line like every other newcomer. They should have paid more attention. Leo Reyes materialized beside Bella, his holographic form transmitted from the Penrose's bridge across the quantum-entangled link. He wore the dark blue uniform of the Terran Navy, and the 3 stars on his collar marked him as a fleet admiral despite being barely 40. His brown skin caught the starlight, and his expression carried the weight of the gambit they were about to play. "Ambassador Chen," he said formally, then softened. "Bella, the Council is assembled. Are we ready?" She nodded, her fingers unconsciously touching the data chip in her jacket pocket. Inside was proof, mathematical proofs, experimental data, specifications that would rewrite physics textbooks across 1,000 worlds. Humanity hadn't just cracked dark matter manipulation. They'd built an entirely new framework of understanding reality itself. The Council chamber was designed to intimidate. Beings from 200 species occupied tiers rising toward a domed ceiling that displayed the galaxy in real-time holographic glory. Bella walked the central floor alone. Council protocol demanded it, while Leo's hologram kept pace 3 steps behind, and to her right, a calculated insult to Council tradition that stated only physical beings could address the assembly. The overmind of Krell spoke first, its collective consciousness manifesting as a shimmering field of light. "Humanity presumes much, sending warships to Council space. We, who have maintained peace for millennia, do not appreciate such aggressive posturing." Bella stopped at the central podium, her hands steady despite her racing heart. "With respect, overmind, the Penrose isn't here to threaten. It's here to demonstrate a fundamental truth the Council has avoided for too long." "And what truth is that?" asked the luminal chorus, 12 beings speaking in perfect harmony. "That your peace is built on stagnation," Leo said, his hologram expanding to address the entire chamber. "For 10,000 years, the Council has enforced technological limits, suppressed research into fundamental physics, prevented species from advancing beyond arbitrary thresholds. You call it stability, we call it a cage." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Bella activated her presentation, and the galaxy hologram above transformed into mathematical formulae, quantum field equations that painted dark matter not as mysterious cosmic scaffolding, but as a manipulable substrate of reality itself. 17 years ago, Bella continued, a human physicist named Dr. Sarah Okonkwo discovered that dark matter isn't separate from normal matter. It's the same quantum fields in different vibrational states. With sufficient energy and precise quantum manipulation, you can phase shift normal matter into dark matter and back again. She gestured, and the equations resolved into a schematic of the Penrose. Our warships don't just use dark matter for shielding or weapons. They exist partially in dark matter space, allowing them to pass through normal matter, dodge attacks that haven't been fired yet by exploiting causality differences between dark matter and normal space, and generate gravitational effects that can reshape local spacetime. The chamber erupted. Representatives shouted, chirped, telepathically broadcast their outrage. Bella waited, counting heartbeats, until the arbitrator, an ancient AI that had mediated council disputes since before most species achieved spaceflight, called for order. Impossible, declared High Scientist Venn of the Crystalline Collective. Such technology would require energy outputs exceeding stellar cores. It would destabilize spacetime itself. You're bluffing. Leo smiled, and Bella felt a chill despite knowing what came next. Admiral Reyes, if you would demonstrate. On every view screen, the Penrose began to shift. Its hull flickered, oscillating between visibility and something else, a shadow against reality itself. Then it moved. Not through space in any conventional sense, but by stepping sideways through dimensions normal matter couldn't access. In 3 seconds, it traversed a distance that should have taken an hour at maximum sublight. More impressively, it passed directly through an unmanned council monitoring station. Not around it, through it. The station's sensors registered nothing, no collision, no gravitational wake, nothing. The Penrose had simply occupied a slightly different layer of reality. The energy requirements, Bella said into the stunned silence, are managed through quantum vacuum energy extraction, another discovery the Council would have suppressed had they known we were researching it. As for spacetime stability, dark matter has been the universe's skeletal structure for 14 billion years. We're simply learning to work with what was always there. Ambassador Volcara rose from his seat, his voice carrying across the chamber. This is precisely why the Council restricts such research. You've had this technology for what, a decade, and already you've weaponized it. What happens when others acquire it? When every species builds dark matter arsenals, you've guaranteed the destruction of everything we've built. Bella had expected this. The Council's restrictions didn't prevent development, Ambassador. They simply ensured that only species willing to work in secret, to reject Council authority, would make breakthroughs. You created the exact scenario you feared by trying to prevent it. Leo's hologram walked forward, passing through the podium in a deliberate display. Humanity isn't here to conquer or destroy. We're here to propose a new framework. The Council has operated on the principle that technological advancement must be controlled from above, metered out to prevent chaos. We propose the opposite, that knowledge shared openly, with safeguards built through cooperation rather than suppression, creates true stability. Naive, spat the warlord prime of the Vraxian Empire. You would give every species the power to shatter worlds and expect cooperation. We expect evolution, Bella replied. The galaxy faces threats the Council refuses to acknowledge. The heat death of the universe isn't as distant as you pretend. The void beyond our galactic cluster contains phenomena we barely understand. And somewhere out there, in the dark between galaxies, our long-range probes have detected something that makes our dark matter warships look like children's toys. She triggered the final data packet, and the chamber filled with imagery from humanity's deepest space telescopes. Structures, vast, incomprehensible geometries that wrapped around entire galactic clusters in the observable universe's outer reaches. Dyson swarms that harvested not stars but entire galaxies. Signatures that suggested civilizations operating on scales that made the Council's greatest achievements look primitive. Whatever those are, Leo said quietly, they're moving, slowly but inexorably toward our cluster. In approximately 3,000 years, they'll reach Council space. You can face them with 10,000-year-old technology and rigid hierarchies, or you can do what humanity has always done, adapt, advance, and meet the universe on its own terms. The silence that followed was profound. Bella could see the calculations happening behind 100 different types of eyes. Fear warring with pride, conservatism battling survival instinct. The arbitrator's ancient voice filled the chamber. The council will deliberate. Ambassador Chen, Admiral Reyes, you will withdraw while we consider your proposal. As Bella walked from the chamber, she felt the weight of civilizations on her shoulders. Behind her, Leo's hologram dissolved, but his voice whispered through her neural implant. Think they'll accept? They don't have a choice, she murmured back. We showed them the cage and the horizon beyond it. The only question is whether they'll walk out willingly or have to be dragged. 3 days later, the council issued its decision. Restrictions on fundamental physics research would be lifted. A new collaborative framework would be established, with humanity taking a leading role in dark matter technology development and sharing. And most significantly, the council voted to begin preparations for contact with whatever lay in the deep dark between galactic clusters. Bella stood once more on the Eternal Consensus's observation deck, watching the Penrose fold away into dark matter space, already heading toward humanity's next research station. Ambassador Volcara approached, his movements less agitated now. You've upended everything, he said, but there was no anger in his voice. 10,000 years of stability gone. 10,000 years of stagnation, Bella corrected gently. But also 10,000 years of peace, cooperation, and shared knowledge. We're not abandoning that. We're building on it. The Vrex diplomat's sensory stalks tilted in what she'd learned was amusement. Your species is either brilliantly brave or catastrophically foolish. Time will tell which. Bella smiled. We're human, we're probably both. As the Penrose vanished into the quantum dark, leaving only gravitational ripples in its wake, Bella allowed herself a moment of hope. The galaxy was changing, evolving toward something new. And for the first time in 10 millennia, the future wasn't written in ancient protocols but in the dark matter of possibility itself. The tremors would continue, but from tremors came earthquakes, and from earthquakes, new foundations could be built.